Exclusive footage from Chuck Norris's funeral has just surfaced, and the internet is absolutely exploding. Fans and celebrities alike are reacting to what they're seeing, and some of the tributes are shocking, even mysterious. In this video, we're diving into the footage, the heartfelt moments, the unusual speeches from famous friends, and the whispers of rumors that have everyone talking. Could there be more to his passing than we thought? You won't want to miss this exclusive look at what the world lost on March 19, 2026. On March 19, 2026, Chuck Norris died on a Thursday morning in Hawaii. According to his family, the news did not come out right away. His family posted a message credited to the Norris family on Instagram and Facebook on Friday morning. In the statement, the family said, "It is with heavy hearts that our family shares the sudden passing of our beloved Chuck Norris yesterday morning. While we would like to keep the circumstances private, please know that he was surrounded by his family and was at peace." That word, sudden, stopped people in their tracks. TMZ reported that Chuck was hospitalized either Wednesday or Thursday, and it seemed sudden because a source who had spoken with Chuck Wednesday said he had been working out and was in an upbeat, jovial mood. One day the man was cracking jokes and training. The next day, he was gone. Norris died at 86 after being hospitalized within the last 24 hours on Kauai. The family chose to keep the medical details private, and as of now, no official cause of death has been released. But what made all of this hit even harder was what happened just 9 days before his death. Chuck Norris revealed that he was in good health 9 days before he died. In his final post on his 86th birthday on March 10th, in his final post to fans on his 86th birthday, the Walker, Texas Ranger star shared a video of himself sparring with someone, alongside an uplifting message. This is the footage that went everywhere. This is what people could not stop watching and sharing. An 86-year-old man throwing punches in the sun, looking like time had no grip on him. Norris chose bold words in the message, hinting at timeless energy rather than aging, then shared footage of himself training alongside a coach. In that post, he wrote, "I don't age, I level up. I'm 86 today. Nothing like some playful action on a sunny day to make you feel young. I'm grateful for another year, good health, and the chance to keep doing what I love." He signed off by thanking his fans and writing, "So God bless Chuck Norris." A few days afterwards, his family reported that Norris had died on March 19th, bringing the focus back to the birthday message as one of his last words. The contrast between that video and the death announcement hit the internet like a freight train. People could not reconcile the image of a man sparring in the Hawaiian sun with the news that he was gone. He had been training as recently as Wednesday, March 18th, maintaining the fitness regimen he followed throughout his life. That is the day before he died. The man was working out the day before. Now the family's full statement also added, "To the world, he was a martial artist, actor, and a symbol of strength. To us, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family." They continued, "While our hearts are broken, we are deeply grateful for the life he lived, and for the unforgettable moments we were blessed to share with him. The love and support he received from fans around the world meant so much to him, and our family is truly thankful for it. To him, you were not just fans, you were his friends." Norris's family has not released any information about a memorial service or funeral arrangements, but that has not stopped the internet from mourning in its own way. The birthday footage, the final footage of Chuck Norris, went bergsansur. Berfamrichas went everywhere. Millions of views, thousands of comments, shared, reposted, screenshotted, stitched, duetted, and quoted. The fact that his last words to the public were about leveling up, about gratitude, about God. And then he was gone 9 days later, made the footage land in a way that no one expected. And the memes, of course the memes came back, but came back one more time. On social media, people posted variations of the old Chuck Norris facts. But this time, they carried weight. This time, they were not just jokes. They were a way of saying goodbye to a man who had been part of the internet's DNA since 2005. To understand why the world reacted the way it did, you have to understand who Chuck Norris actually was. Not the meme, not the joke, the man. To Irish American and Cherokee Native American parents, which he attributed to his father's alcoholism and the family's poverty. In his 2004 memoir, Against All Odds, My Story, Norris wrote, "In school I was shy and inhibited. Following his parents' divorce, Norris his mother and 2 younger brothers, relocated to Prairie Village, Kansas, and then to Torrance, California. After high school in 1958, he joined the Air Force as an air policeman. While serving at Osan Air Base in South Korea, Norris first acquired the nickname Chuck and began his training in Tangsu-do, leading to his achievements in other martial arts, and to his development of hybrid-style Chunkuk-do, meaning the universal way. That moment in South Korea changed everything. A kid from Oklahoma who was too shy to speak up in class started learning how to fight, and he was good at it, very good. He won new fans with his long-running series Walker, Texas Ranger, which ran from 1993 to 2001. In the show, Norris played Cordell Walker, a veteran Texas Ranger. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. Before the TV fame, before the movies, there was the ring. Norris was the 6-time undefeated world professional middleweight karate champion. From 1968 to 1974, 6 times undefeated, let that register. He did not just dabble in martial arts, he dominated. After retiring from competition, Norris worked for aerospace company Northrop and opened a chain of karate schools. Celebrity clients at the schools included Steve McQueen, Chad McQueen, Bob Barker, Priscilla Presley, Donny Osmond, and Marie Osmond. That is not a bad client list for a karate teacher from Torrance. Among Norris's many students were Priscilla Presley, the Osmonds, Steve McQueen, and Bob Barker, who famously recounted incurring cracked ribs after being kicked in the side by Norris during training. Bob Barker, the host of The Price is Right, got his ribs cracked by Chuck Norris in a karate lesson. That tells you everything you need to know about how Chuck Norris trained people. It was McQueen who told Norris he should try acting. Norris told CNN in 1982, "I talked to Steve McQueen about it, and he encouraged me to pursue it. He said if I would apply myself like I did the martial arts, that I would maybe have a chance at it." And then came the meeting that changed his career. Bruce Lee. Chuck and Bruce Lee famously had a close relationship for years, training together in the mid-60s. They both starred in the 1972 film The Way of the Dragon. That fight scene in the Roman Colosseum became one of the most famous martial arts sequences in film history. Norris once recalled the conversation he had with Lee about the fight. In a Q&A, Norris said, "At that time I held the world title. And kiddingly, I said to Bruce, 'Well, who wins, Bruce?' And he says, 'I win, I'm the star of this movie.' I say, 'Oh, I see, you want to beat the world champion?' And he said, 'No, I don't, I want to kill the world champion.' That film put Norris on the map. After that, Norris scored the leading role of a put-upon trucker in Breaker, an action flick shot in just 11 days. It made money, and in a string of indie hits that followed, Norris established himself as America's first homegrown martial arts movie star. Once Hollywood saw that Chuck Norris could sell tickets, the floodgates opened. Norris was prolific in the late 1970s and 80s, starring in The Delta Force and Missing in Action films, Good Guys Wear Black, 1978, The Octagon, 1980, Lone Wolf McQuade, 1983, Code of Silence, 1985, and Firewalker, 1986. His credibility as an action star was something others could not match. As an action star, Norris had a degree of credibility that most others could not match. Not only did he appear opposite the legendary Bruce Lee in the 1972 film The Way of the Dragon, but he was a genuine martial arts champion. He held a black belt in Judo, 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 5th degree black belt in Karate, 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, 9th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, and 10th degree black belt in Chun Kuk Do. The Missing in Action films carried personal meaning. In 1984, Norris starred in Missing in Action, the first in a series of films centered around the rescue of American POWs, purportedly still held after being captured during the Vietnam War. What most people did not know was that Norris's younger brother Wieland had been killed while serving in Vietnam, and the actor dedicated his Missing in Action films to his brother's memory. That loss shaped him. The films were not just action movies for Norris. They were personal. Norris began starring in movies for Cannon Films in 1984. Over the next 4 years, he became Cannon's most prominent star, appearing in 8 films. His brother Aaron Norris produced several of these films, and later became a producer on Walker, Texas Ranger as well. While he scored high on credibility, Norris did not leaven his work with humor. The way Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Jackie Chan did, he was nevertheless the action star of choice for those seeking an all-American icon. When his film career started to slow down, Norris made one of the smartest moves of his life. With his film career cooling off in the 90s, Norris made the switch to television. He won new fans with his long-running series, Walker, Texas Ranger, which ran from 1993 to 2001. In the show, Norris played Cordell Walker, a veteran Texas Ranger, who fights crime in Dallas and throughout the Lone Star State. Walker, Texas Ranger became a phenomenon. Norris was nominated for a TV Guide Award as favorite actor in a drama in 1999. The show ran for 8 seasons and turned Norris from a fading film star into a household name all over again. After Walker ended, Norris stepped back from acting. Norris made a surprise comedic appearance as a decisive judge in the final match of the 2004 movie Dodgeball. Norris joined a bevy of other action stars in the Sylvester Stallone-directed The Expendables 2 in 2012 after an absence from the screen of 7 years. And somewhere in the mid-2000s, something unexpected happened. He became an unlikely internet phenomenon. In 2005, Chuck Norris Facts, a series of satirical jokes about his strength and masculinity, went viral and inspired several books. The jokes included lines like "Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down." Norris ultimately embraced the absurdity of the meme craze, putting together the official Chuck Norris fact book, which combined his favorites with supposedly true stories and the codes he aimed to live by. The man leaned into it. He did not fight the jokes, he owned them. Norris had a black belt in several martial arts. He received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1989 and became an actual Texas Ranger in 2010. Yes, he was made an honorary Texas Ranger. The man who played one on TV became one in reality. Behind the action hero image was a man with a complicated personal life, who ultimately found his center in faith and family. His first wife, Diane Holacek, was his high school sweetheart. They started dating when he was 16 and she was 15, and tied the knot in 1958. They separated in 1988 and finalized their divorce in 1989. That was a 30-year marriage. During that marriage, there was a chapter that Norris later had to reckon with. While Norris and Holacek were married and he was serving in the Air Force, he had an affair with a woman named Johanna. Johanna had a daughter named Dina. Norris only found out about Dina when she was 26 years old and wrote him a letter. In 2004, Norris told Entertainment Tonight, "It's from Dina, and she says, 'I'm your daughter from a past experience.' And she said, 'I found out you were my father when I was 16, but my mother said you were married and we shouldn't interfere with your family.' That revelation shook him, but Norris accepted Dina into his life. After his first marriage ended, Chuck Norris and Gina O'Kelly's relationship began unexpectedly in 1997. Chuck reportedly first saw Gina during a dinner date with another woman. He was immediately struck by her. Gina happened to be on the set of Walker, Texas Ranger for a minor guest role. That night, Chuck asked her out to dinner. After about a year of dating, Chuck and Gina walked down the aisle. On November 28, 1998, 3 years into their marriage, they welcomed twins, a son and a daughter, on August 30, 2001. Their son, Dakota Allen Norris, is a skilled martial artist who earned a 5th-degree black belt in Shun-Kuk Do. Their daughter, Danilee Kelly Norris, also achieved her 2nd-degree black belt, alongside him in 2015. But in 2013, the Norris family faced a crisis that had nothing to do with movies or martial arts. In 2013, Gina developed gadolinium deposition disease after receiving 3 MRI scans with gadolinium-based contrast dye within 8 days. She suffered from severe nerve pain, burning sensations across her body, cognitive difficulties, and kidney complications. The couple alleged that a chemical used in routine MRI scans, a gadolinium-based contrast agent, had poisoned Gina and left her with lasting health problems. She and Chuck spent nearly $2 million on treatments and eventually filed a $10 million lawsuit against the manufacturers. Chuck did something that surprised a lot of people. He stepped away from Hollywood entirely to care for Gina. The couple spent nearly $2 million on experimental treatments, including chelation therapy and stem cell treatment in China. The man who was known for fighting on screen chose to fight for his wife off screen. After more than 2 years of legal proceedings and media attention, the Norris lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed in January 2020. Both sides agreed to drop claims without any settlement being paid, and each party shouldered its own legal costs. The lawsuit may not have ended the way the Norrises wanted, but although the lawsuit did not result in a legal finding against any manufacturer, it helped bring attention to gadolinium retention and how best to communicate potential risks to patients. Beyond the health battle, Norris and Gina built something together off-screen that mattered. They started Kickstart Kids, an organization that teaches martial arts and character development to students. They reached more than 100,000 kids. Gina also served as CEO of their water bottling facility, C-Force. In his final years, Norris lived with his family on a ranch outside Houston, a property that became central to his lifestyle and public image. Along Highway 90, just down from the Lone Wolf Ranch where Norris lived, neighbors said they are still in shock. In recent years, he lost several loved ones, including his mother dying in 2024, and his first wife, Diane Holacek, passing away in December. The loss of his first wife, the woman he had been with for 30 years, just months before his own death, adds another layer to the weight of the final months of his life. He left behind a family that reflected his values. He is survived by his second wife, Gina O'Kelly, whom he married in 1998. 3 sons, Eric, Mike, and Dakota, daughters Danilee and Dina, and a number of grandchildren. His daughter Danilee posted a tribute on Instagram after his passing. She wrote, "I don't think grief is a good enough word to describe the emotions my family and I are going through right now. Losing a parent is something that you are never prepared for." She added, "My dad was my protector the moment I was born, and as soon as he took me in his arms, I've always been his little girl." When the news broke, the tributes came in waves. From presidents to action stars to neighbors in Grimes County, Texas, the responses painted a picture of a man who meant different things to different people, but who meant something to just about everyone. Sylvester Stallone wrote in a statement, "I had a great time working with Chuck. He was all-American in every way. Great man, and my condolences to his wonderful family. Arnold Schwarzenegger posted on X. Chuck was an icon. I'm grateful that I was able to work with him in multiple ways over the years, from promoting fitness to sharing the screen together. He was a badass, in real life and in Hollywood. Dolph Lundgren posted on social media, Chuck Norris is the champ. Ever since I was a young martial artist and later getting into movies, I always looked up to him as a role model. Jean-Claude Van Damme said on Instagram, deepest condolences on the passing of my friend, Chuck Norris. We knew each other from my early days, and I always respected the man he was. Lee Majors said on Instagram, I know the millions of fans across the world are feeling this loss too, but for me it's deeply personal. I had the honor of working alongside him. He added, hey Chuck, maybe you can teach the good Lord a few karate moves. I know he'll get a kick out of them. US President Donald Trump said he had the highest respect for Norris, calling him a great guy and a really tough cookie. Former President George W. Bush issued a statement, Laura and I are saddened by Chuck Norris's passing. He was a legend in Texas and beyond. Through his foundation and his example, he made a huge difference in the lives of young people by instilling character and discipline through martial arts. He added the line, it was said that when Chuck Norris entered a room, he didn't turn the lights on, he turned the dark off. Texas Governor Greg Abbott wrote on X, Texas has lost a legend. He electrified generations of conservatives. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also paid tribute, calling Norris a great friend of Israel and a close personal friend. Actor Lorenzo Lamas, who trained at Norris's studio, posted on X, but watch out, evil world. There is an angel of consequence at the gates. Chuck Norris doesn't just get wings, he gets even. Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador to Israel and former governor of Arkansas, wrote on X about a visit to a veteran's home in New Hampshire, where Chuck and Gina visited with every veteran, listening and caring. He said that when they got back in the vehicle afterwards, both Chuck and Gina were weeping, moved by the stories of aging veterans. That image of the toughest man on the internet weeping in a car after visiting veterans, the Howard Best Gunners, says more about Chuck Norris than any roundhouse kick ever could. Actor Morgan Fairchild wrote on X, I'm so sorry to hear of our loss of Chuck, who I considered a friend for many years. We were in Taiwan in '87 to accept Golden Horse Awards, and we bonded there. In Grimes County, Texas, where Norris lived on his Lone Wolf Ranch, neighbors remembered Carlos Chuck Norris as a humble man and military veteran who believed in faith, family, and community. Local resident Joseph Resnicek said, he was larger than life. There's a hole that will never be filled with the likeness of that man ever. It's hard to comprehend that you have somebody that impacts 50 years of culture, and that might be the most accurate tribute of all. 50 years of culture. From the ring to the Coliseum fight with Bruce Lee, from missing in action to Walker, Texas Ranger, from karate championships to internet memes, from the White House to a veteran's home in New Hampshire. As of early 2026, Norris's net worth was widely estimated between $70 million and $100 million, reflecting the breadth of his career. His earnings came from a mix of blockbuster action films, long-running television success, best-selling books, fitness endorsements, and a steady stream of commercial partnerships that kept him culturally relevant well into his later years. But the numbers do not tell the story. The story is in the footage of a man on his 86th birthday, punching and moving in the Hawaiian sun 9 days before he was gone. The story is in a shy kid from Oklahoma who found martial arts in Korea and turned it into a life that touched presidents and prisoners, action stars and internet trolls, children in karate classes, and veterans in nursing homes. Norris's family has not released any information about a memorial service or funeral arrangements, but at this point, the internet has already held its own kind of funeral. The footage has been the eulogy, the comments have been the flowers, the memes have been the hymns, and millions of people who never met Chuck Norris have said goodbye in the only way they know how, by watching that last video one more time and saying, yeah, he leveled up. That is the footage that went viral. That is why the world stopped scrolling. And that is the story of Chuck Norris, a man who fought on screen, fought for his family, fought for his country, and in the end, went out the way he lived, on his terms, at peace. If you got something out of this video, hit subscribe. Leave a comment telling us your favorite Chuck Norris memory, or your favorite Chuck Norris fact, and we will see you in the next one.